Hey, I heard that you came to the class reunion yesterday. Though I can't say I ever saw you. I guess that's not surprising, given how antisocial you are. I guess some things never change. Yeah, no, you definitely saw me there. I'm sure of it. I heard you bad-mouthing me to everyone. In fact, I'm pretty sure you were deliberately being loud enough so that you knew I could hear you. Huh. Is that right? I don't know. I don't feel like I'd bother wasting time thinking about wallflowers like you to begin with. If that's the case, why don't you just leave me alone instead of texting me pointlessly? Wouldn't a conversation with someone like me waste your oh-so-valuable time? Oh, what's wrong, Carol dear? Are you really going to talk back to me all grumpy like that? Why don't you just be quiet, like you're supposed to? You do understand the difference between our standings, right? Don't tell me you don't. Standings? What are you talking about? I certainly remember how you were back in school. Always looking down on me and throwing insults in my face. I always had to be running away whenever I saw you since you were so persistent. But now we're both adults. It's childish to keep acting like we have some sort of different social standing that dictates how we should behave to each other. What? You mean you don't know? Know what? Once you formed a certain kind of relationship with someone, that doesn't change for your whole life. No matter how much you try to act like you're on the same level as me, your standing as nothing more than my slave will never change. Your slave? Don't make me laugh. Did you forget that we're not in high school anymore? Not that that sort of talk would be normal even for a high schooler. Even for someone at that age, it sounds ridiculous. Well, that's why you got all nervous and ran away, right? And after I went through all the trouble to try and be friendly with you too. Friendly? I don't think you even know the definition of the word. Constantly bad-mouthing me. Doing everything you could to make a laughingstock of me in front of other students. Stealing my things. All the while, I was wondering what I had done for you to feel like you had to abuse me like you did. And just dismissed it as you having troubles at home. And then you even started physically abusing me too. The very sight of your face just made me angry. What can I say? I couldn't help it. All you had to do was act like the slave that you were and follow every order I gave you. But you just never got the picture. I heard you talking about how you were hoping to reconcile or something earlier. That made me start wondering whether or not you had forgotten where your standing was in our relationship. Look, how about you just shut up about it already? There's no point in even talking to you any further. I wasn't even intending on going to any further class reunions anyway, so that should be fine, right? I only even came this time because of the news that our old homeroom teacher was retiring. I wanted to see him and thank him for all he did during my time there. That's all. Well, of course. It's not like anyone else in our class remembers you anyway, right? Don't ever come to one of the reunions again. You antisocial shut-in of a girl. Nobody wants to see you anymore. Oh, don't you worry. I certainly don't want to see your disgusting face ever again myself. I'll be sure to keep my distance. Hey, Carrie. How's work been? It's nice to hear from you, Mitch. Work's been fine. Nothing too serious. Why the sudden question, though? Has something happened? Have you been able to get to work all right? I may be your little sister, but I'm an adult now. I can take care of myself. You don't need to feel so protective of me. Hey, old habits die hard, right? Of course a brother's gonna worry about his little sister sometimes. Yeah, I know. And don't get me wrong, it makes me happy to know you worry about me. It's reassuring to know you care. Anyway, I haven't even had to go into work very often recently, since most of our work is being done remotely now. Everything has been going pretty smoothly. I'm glad to hear it. Still, it's strange for you to suddenly ask about that. What happened? What do you mean? You know what I mean. You barely ever text me. You always just call. It's out of the ordinary, so I figured something was going on. Well, your intuition is right there. I've actually got some news for you. I'm planning on proposing to someone. Oh, really? Congratulations! Who's the lucky lady? I don't remember you even talking about having a girlfriend. When do I get to meet her? Well, there's actually something I wanted to ask you about regarding that. Huh? What? Well, she's actually someone who went to the same high school as you, apparently. Huh? She is. She was in the same year as you, so I figured you might know her. Her name's Lauren. Are you serious? Did she say anything about me? No, she never mentioned anything about you. I mean, you weren't really able to go to school very often back then, so I figured it'd be best not to bring it up. I remember it seemed like you had a hard time in high school, so I was concerned that maybe you weren't able to get along well with some of the students. So, I wanted to ask you about her privately first. Lauren was in my class. Yes. Ah, I thought so. Are you okay with me marrying her? You'll be seeing her more often as she'd become your sister-in-law, so I wanted to talk with you about it. Are you by any chance not really good friends with her? It sounds like she really keeps in touch with most of your classmates, so many of them would likely come to the wedding too. Thinking about that got me worried about you. I guess I can see why you'd be worried. But still, if you want to marry her, that's your decision, isn't it? It's not my place to stop you from making a decision like that. So, I guess I can support it. What do you mean, you guess? But if that's what you think, then I understand. Well, to be honest, I sort of suspected that she might have been putting on a persona for me. I was hoping to figure out if she's really the kind person that she acts like she is around me. From your reaction, I'm guessing that you didn't exactly get along well with her, right? Well, yeah, since I didn't really get to go to school very much. But that's not something that you really need to hear about. Are you really sure? If there's something you want to say, I would be happy to hear it, no matter what it is. No, there's nothing to say. Your happiness is what's most important to me. I hope everything goes well for the two of you. Congratulations. Hey! What do you think you're doing here? I didn't invite you. I would never invite someone who would just bring down the mood. What? Did you sneak in or something? How disgusting. I can't believe you'd stoop to such a level. The only one stooping lowly is you. Did you really have to kick me out? You shocked everyone in the vicinity with that little stunt. Yeah? And? What about it? For someone like you to think you deserve to come to someone's wedding like this, it's disgusting. I thought you'd know your place by now. You are the #1 person I would like to kick out of here. Don't you remember how things were back in high school? Frankly, I'm astonished that you still think it's okay to kick me at this age. You just can't seem to let go of anything from our high school days, can you? You're the absolute worst. Oh, I'm the one who's doing something wrong. How about the person who decided to come to a wedding of someone they're not even friends with? Honestly, I don't even know what you expected to happen. Crashing a wedding is beyond disrespectful. Think about it for at least 1 second. Of course, I know that you didn't invite me, and I'm not the kind of person who would crash a wedding to begin with. There's absolutely no reason why I would come to a wedding to see you of all people. Then what? You came to try to expose how I messed with you in high school or something? Let me guess. You thought that you could embarrass me in front of all our classmates. So you made sure to hide yourself among them as everyone filed in. I don't need someone who's going to try to pull some stupid prank like that at my wedding of all things. Do you not have any sense of decency? Why do you have to keep talking like that? And again, kicking me was completely unnecessary.
Just shut up already and leave. Do you want to be kicked even more? I do not want a pathetic person like you to just pop up at my wedding, even if you were a former classmate. If you don't leave soon, I promise you I will kick you into next week.
Sure, I can leave. But are you sure you want me to?
Go home, you cow! Go to hell!
I can't say I ever expected to be kicked on the day of my own brother's wedding. Okay, I'll go home.
Wait. Huh?
Even if you apologize now, it won't change a thing. It's too late now. Anyway, I'll be going now.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean?
I will leave now. Goodbye.
Where are you? Do you think you could come back to the wedding? Please, there's something I wanted to talk about.
I can't say I can. I'm already on my way home. And I can't say I really have anything I want to talk to you about either. I mean, you yourself were the one who literally kicked me out of the venue, remember? I can't imagine you forgot already.
But, hold on. Circumstances have changed.
Yeah, I imagine they have. Without even knowing that I would become your sister-in-law, you chased me out of the venue. Using violence, no less. I returned home as you so unreasonably demanded. I told you it was too late to apologize. Or did you happen to forget that too?
But come on! To think that you were the sister of the groom? How was I supposed to know that? He never talked about it. I had no idea. I was so sure that you would come to my wedding in order to aggravate me or something like that.
What? And if I wasn't, it would be acceptable? The only way I could see that is if I was the one who was always tormenting you, not the other way around. Besides, you should have known that I am not that vindictive of a person. Or at least thought for 1 second about why else I could be there. Yes, I hate you, but I don't bear a grudge against you or anything. When I heard that my brother was marrying a Lauren from my class, I knew right away that it was you. Even so, I didn't say a thing to him about you.
Huh? Really? You didn't?
Honestly, I couldn't imagine that the woman my brother wanted to marry was the same woman who drove me to stop attending school in person. I absolutely hated that out of all the women in the world, he had to have picked you. But I figured that since my brother chose you, he had to have had his reasons. I felt it was not my place to get in the way of his happiness. So, I said nothing.
Oh, wow. So, that's how it was. I suppose I may have misunderstood the situation a bit. You know, you can come back to the wedding. I won't mind. I can try to start actually getting along with you now. Look, I can stop being condescending towards you, okay?
I realized, however, that I was mistaken.
Huh? Mistaken?
I had thought that because my brother had chosen you, I had no right to speak up. I had resolved to remain silent throughout the whole ceremony, and to keep those feelings hidden for his sake. But today, I understood that that was wrong. You haven't changed a single bit.
What do you mean by that?
Even after 10 years, you still think it's perfectly acceptable to kick me. In public, no less. That is the strongest proof I have ever seen that you have not grown at all since high school. I acted like a good sister, as I knew my brother wanted to marry you. I had my suspicions that you acted nice to him because you wanted to marry him, all the while hiding your true colors. I kept quiet, but I can't leave it alone anymore.
Can you get to the point already? What are you trying to say?
I have decided that I will explain everything to him.
Huh?
It looks like he noticed that I was gone and figured out that something was wrong. He has been very worried about me ever since high school because of how I didn't actually go for many days at a time. I couldn't take the teasing and harassment. Even when he was in college, he would frequently return home to check on me. That's how much he cares about me. And it's that caring aspect of him that led him to notice how strange my behavior was.
Hold on. Please just slow down for a second. You aren't planning to go telling Mitchell some unnecessary extra stuff, are you?
Unnecessary extra stuff? Like what, for example?
Like how I used to give you a hard time back in the day? Or how I kicked you today?
Oh, and those are unnecessary extras, are they? You think those are just pointless bits of information, unrelated to your marriage? No, Lauren. Those are facts. When my brother hears about this, loving me and worrying about me as much as he does, he will undoubtedly get enraged. That said, I think that's still better than just letting the marriage go through and regretting it later. Don't you think?
No, wait. You can't do this. Today is our wedding, remember? It's such a special day for us. Our honeymoon is already planned out and fast approaching. We've got plans to go next week. Please, just don't tell him. Don't you dare steal away my happiness.
What, like how you stole away my very ability to go to school? My life in high school was at its lowest and it was all your fault. And you dare to tell me not to steal your precious happiness from you? After all you've done to me? You're lucky I haven't had the police arrest you for assault. What makes you think you have the right to tell me not to speak to my brother? He has always cared for me, and for much longer than you have known him. When he learns that the woman he proposed to was the leader of a group of students who dedicated themselves to tormenting his little sister, I think we can be pretty sure of what I'll do about your marriage. Don't you?
I'm telling you, don't do it. Mitch has nothing to do with this. I truly wish to marry him, not mistreat him like I did to you.
You have never shown your real face to him, have you? You've only ever been putting up an act. What's the point of a marriage like that? I only want to let my brother know who you really are. I only want him to know your true face. The face of a deplorable woman for whom being called the scum of the earth would be too kind.
No, you can't do that. I'm telling you, your past with me doesn't have anything to do with our marriage. If you care about your brother's happiness, you shouldn't tell him anything. He will be so happy once we get married, and you would ruin that.
You're mistaken. It is for the sake of his happiness that I have resolved to tell him. Or perhaps I should say, have already told him.
What?
He's telling me that he's canceling the wedding. I feel that he's making the right decision by doing so.
No, you're just trying to scare me, right? He doesn't actually already know, right? I mean, sure, he isn't answering his phone, but that's not because he's refusing to speak to me, right? What's going on? What selfish little stunt did you pull, Carol?
Well, I think you'll find out, as I think he's going to your room right now. Though, maybe I should warn you, he is quite pissed off. Appropriately so, I should think. Oh, and before I forget, you kicking me earlier? I may not call the police on you, but you certainly did rip my dress. You also hit me multiple times. You can expect a lawsuit to be coming your way soon, as I will be seeking damages for what you have done.
No, don't say that. Don't exaggerate about what happened. You're not really going to sue me over this, are you?
Where am I exaggerating? I have only spoken the truth. All of the things you did to me ever since high school, those were all crimes. And I am definitely not the same girl who would just cry herself to sleep over her situation anymore. I will finally fight back, fair and square, for all that you owe me. Mark my words, you will pay for all of the suffering you've caused me.
What? I haven't been trying to fight about anything. All I want to do is marry Mitch. Nothing more. Please, from now on, I'll try to get along with you. I'll be friendlier. Come back and explain everything to Mitch. Please.
Oh, you want me to explain everything to him? Like how up until now you have done nothing but harass me and do your best to make me miserable?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying tell him that everything you've said was just a joke. Tell him that you and I have been good friends for a long time. I mean, if you do that, I'll be able to marry him, right? He'll marry me then, won't he?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
But why?
For one thing, I would never lie to my brother, especially about something as serious as this. For another, I have no reason to want to help you in any way, shape, or form. Quite the opposite, in fact. So I'd appreciate it if you would never show your face to my brother ever again. As for me, I can settle for seeing it again once my lawyer is there with me. I guess this means your wedding has been canceled. How sad. I guess the honeymoon will have to be canceled too. But I guess it's not very surprising. After all, you reap what you sow. I wish you luck in your search for another man. And I wish him luck in dealing with you. Once Mitch heard about everything, he flew into a rage the likes of which I had never seen before. Right at the venue, he declared that he was canceling the wedding and never seeing her again. Lauren tried to contact me, pleading with me to talk to Mitch and get him to reconsider. Obviously, I ignored her. I did get to hear about her through some sympathetic classmates who reached out to me after hearing what I went through, though. With the wedding canceled and me filing suit against her, she apparently fell into a total state of panic. She didn't know when to give up, though, and started stalking Mitch in a pathetic attempt to get him to consider marrying her again. Her actions got more and more extreme, and eventually he filed a restraining order against her. She never really recovered from the shock of everything that happened, and ended up losing her job as a result. The last thing I heard was that all of her old friends abandoned her after hearing everything, leaving her with a life of total isolation. I don't feel any sympathy for her. She deserved what she got. Like I told her, you reap what you sow. Mitch thanked me for finally speaking up and stopping their wedding in time, though he also mentioned that he hopes I speak up sooner next time. He told me he trusts my judgment, and I think the both of us grew a bit from this incident too. Now, I'm looking ahead towards the future, with the pain of my past finally behind me, and my brother there to support me too.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content like this. Let us know in the comments what you thought.